Welcome back. This is week 9 of From the Ground Up Challenge. I'm on a mission to rewire our food industry to create local, sustainable, good quality food as standard across the country. To do that, I'm running 3 different projects. Number 1 is a small farm running Australian lowline cattle and a small flock of chickens, currently on 350 birds, trying to get up to 650 and eventually maybe 1,000, producing eggs and selling them to local restaurants and villages. Alongside that, I'm building a social media presence on all the major platforms, and I'm trying to understand how to build a community rather than just a following, collaborate, interact with, work with, chat to people that are interested in this space, but also anyone that's not familiar with what we need to do to be able to stabilise our food production and build food security. And the third is I'm building a platform to enable all of that activity. To begin with, we're building an e-commerce platform builder, allowing farmers, producers, restaurants to build shops and be able to decentralise production and centralise supply, whilst maintaining consistency of approach, trying to reduce duplicated effort, standardising how we do things. This is actually the second time I'm doing this because the file corrupted and I've just spent half an hour filming, and now I am running out of time, so we're going to do this again and we're going to do it fast, just as I wanted. So let's jump in. We'll go through each one of those sections as we go. Number 1, on the farm. L2 is back underneath the tarp, unfortunately. I spent a lot of time in there this week and I was watching them peck one another and grab feathers from one another. I raised the level of the perches because I thought it was because they could peck from underneath. Since then, I've now questioning whether I have raised them. Raising them was the answer, because what they do now is they jump up and grab hold of some feathers and use their body weight to pull down. I'm hoping I've now raised it even further out of their sight, but it is an interesting concept that the height is actually allowing them to pull out feathers. And then unfortunately we lost another 5 birds this week, which means that brings us up to 13 in total, and so we're almost at 10% of the flock of lost birds, which is groovy. I'm working on trying to disconnect emotion from caring and trying to understand how I can care deeply whilst maintaining a level head about things, allowing me to approach problems with pragmatism rather than emotion. That's working okay. Problems like this SD card corrupting remind me that I'm not completely okay all the time. But anyway, we move, making... Oh, fuck's sake. Fucking hate this. Oh. That was so good. 20 fucking minutes as well. So for context, we're currently in lockdown here in the UK for a disease called avian influenza H5N1, which is spread by feces between wild and domestic birds. So to battle that, the government has mandated a lockdown on all flocks of over 50 birds, or if their eggs are sold. We do both of those things, and so we are in lockdown. We have been since October. My estimate is May, so we are currently staring down the barrel of spending more time in lockdown during a year than free-ranging. My birds traditionally free-range all year, however, that is not practical right now. So there are no free-range eggs in the UK. If there are, they are breaking the law. The tarpaulin we put on the house is to reduce the light intensity for the birds. There's a few causes of feather pecking. One is diet, a lack of protein usually, or calcium sometimes, but predominantly protein. I've ruled that one out because we've got plenty of other flocks here and none of them are doing it to the extremities they are. However, L1, there is a little bit of pecking there, so it is possible. However, B2, the girls are pristine in there. My beautiful brown Leghorns and light Sussex in there, who are laying well. Well, the light Sussex are laying well. Brown Leghorns have stopped laying completely, but they're doing well in there. And then in B1, under the watchful eye of Boris, they are laying very well in there, and there's no feather pecking going on in there. So I don't think it's diet. The second is overcrowding. Now we've battled that already by splitting them into those 3 houses. So L2, B1, B2 are now the makeup of what used to be the 200 hens in L2. And then L1, who's now got the same stocking density as L2, are doing fine and laying really well as well. So I'm ruling things out as we go. More options it could be is boredom. Now boredom is a problem because we're currently on worming L2, and what worming means is you add worm medicine to the feed to kill the eggs and worms in the gut. But But whilst you do that, you're not meant to feed them any other feed or treats, and what we're doing to battle the boredom is feed them fresh fruit and veg, which they then peck at during the course of the day, which we haven't been able to do, so that is maximising it. But watching their behaviour, I think now it's unfortunately just habit, which is very frustrating. But we're going to hang some CDs in there this week to see if that can battle that. Done some more hedging this week, predominantly just clearing out the brambles, to be honest with you. I haven't made massive progress over there, but the calves absolutely love that, and they spend a lot of time eating away at the brambles as I chop them back. That hedgerow is getting there. I've still got probably another 50 metres, which, to be honest with you, is quite a few days' work. But we'll get there. Dad's been busy building the chicken house. I've been helping him out this week, starting to put the roof on, which is exciting. I have managed to get either with the hedging or the metal work, I've managed to get something in my eye, which I need to go to the hospital about, but I don't have time to do it. I don't know if I can see just here. Which, unfortunately, is not the first time I've done that. And last time I went to the John Radcliffe in Oxford, actually, and they just flicked it out. I've tried doing something similar on my own, which isn't a good idea, and it's not worked. So I'm going to go to the doctor, however I'm busy, so I'll do it next week. But that's probably not a good idea, so I do not recommend leaving foreign bodies in your eye, embedded in your eye, for much longer than that. Spent a load more money, got a load more sacks delivered from moles. Currently get 50 sacks at a time. I'm probably at the size that I should get a silo and get direct delivery from a mill, but we don't currently have the infrastructure here to be able to support that. So right now it's the cheapest and most effective way is to buy in pallet loads from moles. It's like 460 quid worth of food each time and get through it in 20 days, which is quite intimidating. Eggs are still going in the incubator. They're not due until a couple of weeks into March. Moving then on to socials. Currently got social media on YouTube, TikTok and Instagram. TikTok's currently the breadwinner, however I haven't posted over there in nearly 2 months now, just due to sort of just generally being a bit overwhelmed with everything that's going on here. I run Come Collect Eggs With Me videos, which we every day I go out and collect eggs. And I'm trying to figure out whether I now double down and create that and make that channel dedicated just to Come Collect Eggs With Me, or whether I try and diversify it out a bit. I'll be interested to hear anyone here who's joined from TikTok and watched those videos, what you actually enjoy about the Come Collect Eggs With Me videos and what you'd like to see more of. My current thinking is I'll dedicate that channel to just Come Collect Eggs With Me and then create another channel on TikTok, a bit similar to this YouTube, which is a bit more dedicated into sort of the general projects of things. I'm trying to identify exactly what Come Collect Eggs With Me, what part of Come Collect Eggs With Me resonates with people, what part they're interested in, and try and package that up a little bit, make it a bit more easier for me to then repeat that and create a product that people really enjoy watching and being a part of. My current approach, I think I'm going to sort of do a showcase, because we have been jumping between the flocks on a day-to-day basis. What I'm going to do is do a bit of a showcase, so focus on one flock at a time, whether that's in a week or a month, I haven't decided yet. We'll still talk about the other flocks, but be focused on one, just to allow people to build up their connection with the birds. I think that they enjoyed from season 1 to 5, or however many seasons we've done now. Something I started last week to try and deepen the community is I've kicked off a Discord server. We've got the first 10, 11 people in there, which I'm very excited to have. Thank you to all of you who've joined. If you haven't joined, I'll put another link up. Those first people will get awards and trophies for being the first 10 in, and we'll continue that as the subsequent people arrive. But I still haven't shared that with TikTok yet, so I haven't seen massive amount of intake, but I'm really just enjoying understanding how it works, learning more about it. As always, I'm not in a rush to do all this stuff. I'd rather do it right than do it fast, because we're trying to build this to last the next 100 years. I've been researching some editing techniques to try and level up the quality of these videos, and playing around with things like jump cuts and darkening the background, visuals, generally trying to figure out how to take my videos from quite dull, which they are today, almost by design, but mainly because I'm just trying to get them out, to actually engaging and potentially get a few more views. That doesn't really bother me, and I've talked about it a lot before. I'm not interested in going viral. My goal is to build the depth of community rather than get hundreds of thousands of views, which we have achieved on TikTok occasionally, but that is, like I say, is not the driver. I'm way more interested in building a connection with people, understanding what people are looking for, what their frustrations are with the industry, what their goals and dreams are, and be able to build that up and build a community where those people can then communicate with one another. That's way more important to me than building a building out a massive following. And I try and remind my ego of that occasionally. But like I said, I even the fact we've just got 10 people in the Discord means a lot to me, to then be able to talk to those people and understand a bit more about them. That leads on to number 3, which is the platform we're building, Yosis. It stands for symbiosis. The ultimate goal of this platform is to create stability in an ever more unstable world. And one of the challenges that we face, particularly in the Western world, but have done for millennia over all communities. Our weakness as a populace is short-term self-interest magnified by a tribal mentality. And what that means is we build things for now. As humans, we are hardwired to survive the winter rather than the next century. And that comes from our ancestors. And we haven't really evolved past that. And you see it in the way a lot of the world leaders are currently approaching problems and political parties, is they are all trying to benefit themselves personally first, or their party, rather than the stability of a nation, the country, a world. And so what I'm trying to do is build an alternative to that, and a structure that can run alongside and complementary to the government, a stability that we can offer farmers, producers, consumers, retailers, which can avoid the fluctuations that we see in world politics. We can offer food security to the nation and also economical stability to the producers. We may miss, but I figured the worst we can do is try and improve a couple of people's lives along the way, and produce some good food whilst we do it. It's currently building Yosis, which is a marketplace builder, and what people will be able to do on that is be able to build, producers will be able to build shops, but also be able to join directly to marketplaces, and then also manage the logistics alongside of all of that, so that we effectively run as the operating system to food production in the UK. Very ambitious goal, but as I was chatting to a friend the other day, we've got to be very deliberate with what we do over the next few years if we are going to achieve this goal. So I've got to be pretty determined in doing it. I come from software background. I spent the last 5 years building up infrastructure for investments and advice. I absolutely love the team I worked with, loved what we were doing initially, but I have learnt in doing that to struggle to work for something that I don't believe in wholeheartedly, and so this is what I'm doing. I've moved back home, live with my parents, and it is hard work, the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, in fact, and I've sacrificed everything to be here. However, we are making progress, and I was reminded the other day of a quote from Bill Gates, and Bill Gates, love him or hate him, I'm sort of in the middle. You will overestimate what you can achieve in a year, underestimate what you can achieve in 10. And so we are here for building a company that's going to survive 100 years, and I'm planning on implementing that over the next 10 years. I am quite intimidated by the speed of change at the moment. The volatility in the world at the moment is extreme, through that, whether it's through war, political party change, or the development of how work is going to progress, and that's the impact of things like LLMs, large language models, or effectively what we call AI in most spaces, or further pandemics and the like. So it's going to be a bumpy few years, that is guaranteed, and I'm hoping to try and offer some stability through that for as many people as I can. Thank you, as always. If you're still watching, I appreciate you wholeheartedly. Thank you for being part of the community. Jump into Discord if you're not in there already. Jump in the comments if you've got any questions, thoughts, and I'll see you on the next one.